Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block ship, and this one that I'm currently standing on is called the Huckleberry Corvette, which is this lovely thing over here. And yes, there will be a link to the skybox I'm currently using in the description below. It's a very fancy one with a giant planet below you. Of course, you cannot go all the way down to the planet because it does not exist, but it does make a perfect skybox for taking fancy screenshots of your ship, and does look quite nice from certain planets if you've got mods that remove the atmosphere. Anyway, back over to the ship. This is a small fighter featuring a bunch of turrets around the outside, a very tiny interior which is basically a glorified airlock with a cockpit in the middle. We've got ion and hydrogen thrusters, and a very sleek, streamlined design with some fantastic use of our yellow blocks, as you can see in the background here, which hasn't really been done on designs before. It's just a novel way of adding a bit of extra decoration to this grey section and back to house that small autocannon turret. Anyway, back over to the front, pressing F10, find this in spawn menu. The Huckleberry is 1,154 large blocks, using a couple of the DLC packs. We've got no information whatsoever about the ship, so we're simply give it a thumbs up, go around the outside, have a quick tour of the interior, see what I can do, and I think that'll be that. It's some space pirate spawn, I will try it in combat. If not, we'll just slam it into an asteroid to see what happens with that. Now, I'm not too sure what happened to my character just there. He just decided to, well, start to float away. So what I'm going to do now is put on this jetpack and move him out of the way like that. And here we go, the very front. So right in the very middle, what we got is one of many ion thrusters to help move this thing around in space. And then on the left and right hand side, we've got some B blocks for some decoration. We can also see the start of our assault cannon turrets to blast enemies with some very light blue blocks to make up the main body of the ship. If we move around onto the side, here we go, past that turret, past all these lovely blue blocks. There's one or two doorways to get inside this ship. This is what I was talking about earlier with the glorified airlock. So pushing the camera all the way through, here we go. This is all we get. So there's the cockpit, LCD screen, and there's the door for the opposite side. Anyway, we'll come back to that a bit later. Along the side here, there's our turret, ion thrusters, hydrogen thrusters, fantastic use of our hazardous skin, just dotted around here and there for some extra decoration. We've got some barred window blocks, we've got some grey steel blocks, we've got more beam blocks, we've got some conveyor caps. Then towards the back here, some fantastic use of our leather blocks, on the edge of some ion thrusters that go across, say, small heat vents. Then up and all the way around on these lovely little yellow sections that we saw at the start of the video, there's our autocannon turrets for a bit of defense from behind, and of course above, below, and side to side. And there we go, all the way around. Anyway, at the very back of this thing, this is what's going to push us around. So we've got one large hydrogen thruster with 4 small ion thrusters, which should give us some respectable speed and scoot us around towards our destination in no time whatsoever. We come all the way down underneath this thing, it's not going to be too different compared to what we just saw. On the side, there's our turret, there's our heat vent, ion thruster with a layer block on top, hydrogen thrusters, ion thrusters, come all the way across to a connector. Then over to this section, got some lovely blue blocks, and that'll be that at the very front. All the way up and looking down at it, once again, basically going to be the same as what we just saw, says the blue blocks. This time a camera on top, a top mount camera, so we get a good view of what's going on from the cockpit, because it is built into the ship, we're not going to be able to see outside. Anyway, once again, ion thruster, hydrogen thruster, heat vent, letter block, ion thruster, and there's a large hydrogen thruster at the back. And there we go, that's it for the outside of the Corvette. So what I'm going to do now is grab hold of my character, fly all the way up to that doorway, and head on inside. So opening up this, just slides all the way open, we can drop all the way down, there's no gravity generator on this, so if we jump, we're just going to float away. And this is all we get. So we've got an inset light block below us, we've got an LCD screen telling us our target locked, above us a couple of catwalks to hide the block above us, and there is our industrial cockpit to drive this thing around. But first of all, using the conveyor diagrams mod, this is all we can see for our internals, so what we've got is very few conveyors linking everything together, just a lot of functional blocks. We see how it's all been connected up to our turrets, then towards the back where our hydrogen tank and hydrogen thrusters are sitting. Anyway, into the cockpit, first person view, this is all we can see. So yes, we're not going to be able to see too much, only if we're locked onto something. Bringing up the HUD, these are the only controls we get, with no one being for our top mounted camera so we can actually see what's going on ahead of us. But it is partially blocked by the steel blocks in front of us. Could have done by having the front mounted camera so we can actually see a clear view at everything around the front of the ship, but never mind with that. Anyway, out of that, pressing number 2, that's to manually fire our assault cannon turrets, where it's not a mouse click, it's not an automatic firing system, we simply press number 2, and they'll go and fire off in that direction. Number 3 is then to turn on and off our turrets around the ship, we then got 5 and 6 for our thrust over, so we press that, we're going to now move all the way forwards, there we go, and we can turn it off once we're done, very useful for going through cruise to take your hands off the keyboard. Number 7 is then for your hydrogen tanks to stop power on and off. number 8 is for your batteries to auto recharge, and then number 9 is to turn on all of our thrusters all around the ship. That's going to be for both our hydrogen and ion thrusters, so we can no longer move the ship around. Perfect for when we're docked up and want to make sure everything's fully recharged and topped off. Putting them back on, tab number 2 got nothing else, so go and try this thing around to see how it handles. So moving forwards, as you can expect, we are extremely fast thanks to that large hydrogen thruster, assisted by those small ion thrusters all the way around, and it does look bloody fantastic from behind. If I hide up all the HUD and move forwards once again, the glow from the thrusters make it look absolutely fantastic, the way it just bounces off all the steel blocks surrounding all of it. Anyway, yes, coming to a stop, putting the HUD back on, that's what we get. We are extremely slow compared to moving forwards, so we will want to do a 180, turn this thing around, so we can boost forwards and stop ourselves a hell of a lot quicker. It will be very useful to have the script they can activate to do an auto 180, so I'll save you having to find the actual perfect 180, make sure you're not going to go a bit wonky, maybe start boosting in the wrong direction. Anyway, left and right, got a nice bit of speed with that, a bit faster than moving backwards, the moving up, there we go, and moving down is going to be same as left and right. Then as for gyroscope controls, as you saw from the 180, we've got plenty of control over this, so it's not been an issue whatsoever. There's a tiny hint away in there, so it does drag just a little bit, it does feel very responsive, and you'll easily be able to aim those assault cannon turrets on the side there to precisely shoot your enemies. But as for that, that's pretty much it for the Huckleberry Corvette. It looks bloody fantastic with how it's all been set up. It's got some amazing use of the hinges at the back there, just angling those autocannon turrets with those yellow sections all the way around it. It does have a very nice sleek design with enough firepower there, so if you were jumped by a pesky drone or any other small fighters that say spawn during the Modern Counter Systems mod, you should be perfectly well at defending yourself and should come out of many fights in one piece. So all that's left to do is to find some space pirates, see how it handles in combat, and that'll be that for this video. And here we go, what I've done is found a space pirate outpost which has been built into an asteroid. Look at that, we can see our Gatling turret just hovering around there quite menacingly. As we were to get closer, of course, that's going to fix out that little problem with the gap in the middle. But now what I'm going to do is come out of that third person view, zooming slightly away, and we're going to slowly approach it, bearing in mind that I had to go quite slow here due to our stopping time. We need to do a 180 to actually stop the thing dead in its tracks. Back into the camera, zooming a bit closer, there's the turrets right there. Just going to move around to the right, there goes the guns on each side, we directly hit that one, that might be fully disabled, no it's not, there goes our autocannon turrets, that's now fully disabled, coming up to there, and it looks like the autocannon turrets are doing a bloody fantastic job at disabling everything on this. Coming out of the camera, looking at the damage dealt to this ship, not too much, but it looks like we might crash into stuff, don't move this thing around in time, there we go, circling all the way around, there is the actual base, there is our solar panels, and what I will do is just bring sunlight back around just a little bit so we can get a good view of what's going on here. And all the way back around once again. And it looks like we have fully disabled the Space Pirate outpost, so ready to go on the inside, have a look around what they've got to offer, and anything we can steal or salvage, and all of that. So yes, this thing did a surprisingly good job against a, well, fairly well-armed base. We didn't really take too much damage around the outside, there are a few deformed blocks here and there, but none of the major blocks have been damaged, and this thing will live to fight another day. So all that's left to do now is to slam straight into it to blow up both the ship and the Space Pirate outpost, and that'll be it for this video. So here we go, that should be pretty good. That looks like a hydrogen tank exploded in the distance, or at least a small battery exploded in the distance. But moving all the way forwards, zooming in, hiding all the HUDs, here we go. And there we are, that was a lovely big explosion. What's remaining of the Corvette? It doesn't look like too much is remaining of the Corvette, in fact it's basically been completely annihilated. There is the poor Space Pirate outpost, and just the little bits remaining that we can easily salvage. It looks like some of the cargo containers have survived, but to come all the way up to them, can I access this? Yes I can, but there's nothing on the inside, and that might be from the Corvette itself, means I could access it without getting the access denied. Here's a big cargo container, there it is, and yes it looks like there was a bit of ammunition inside there, some bottles, but not really too much to salvage at the end of the day. But yes, that is that for the Huckleberry Corvette. It's a lovely little ship to use in your world. You want to have something very simple, very sleek, and very elegant to use in survival mode, or any old gameplay that you're trying to do. So there'll be a link to it in the description below along with the Skybox. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.